Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing every single Spider-Man movie on a tier list. Okay, so here we have the tier list right here. We've got all 11 Spider-Man movies, even including the 1977 one. I actually haven't seen this movie. I know there's like 3 of them, so I don't know why the tier list is only including one, but I haven't seen it, so I'm just going to put it in F tier for now. I don't know, it's like kind of unfair that I haven't watched the movie, but from what I've seen and the clips, and like I used to watch it when I was younger, yeah, it looks kind of trash. But hey, I think the 1970 Hulk TV show is pretty goated. So, just to give some respect to the 1977 Marvel heroes. Let's get started though with Spider-Man 1 from 2002. Let me tell you, this movie is A tier quality. Don't get me wrong. I did not watch this movie a lot when I was a kid. It was probably my least favorite Spider-Man movie when I was younger. Mostly because I just found it fucking terrifying. This is the movie I watched the least as a little boy. And yeah, it's really just got that like early 2000s horror vibe to it. I can't really explain. There's just like a lot of jump scares. And Green Goblin as the villain kind of traumatized me when I was younger. If I had to give a good like example of what this movie feels like, it kind of feels like the Rob Zombie Halloween movies from the early 2000s. It's just got that kind of grungy vibe to it. And when I was younger, I just didn't like it. But nowadays, this shit fucking slaps. This movie goes so incredibly hard. You know, I rewatched it when No Way Home was coming out. I was like, yeah, it's a pretty decent movie. But like, watching it last year on the big screen for the first time, it just showed me how this movie is better than like 90% of MCU movies that get released nowadays. I'm sorry, you compare this to Brave New World or the Thunderbolts or just any other MCU slop they release, it just really goes to show how much Marvel has changed in the past 20 years. They actually took time in making costumes and the costume design and using practical effects, not everything being filmed on a green screen. And I really just love the cinematography and Sam Raimi's directing style, which like is only the beginning of how much fucking aura the Spider-Man is going to have. The characters I love in this film. Watching this on the big screen again last year, I was so incredibly invested in the characters' like arcs and their journeys of them graduating school and looking for jobs, and you know, Peter dealing with becoming Spider-Man and like the responsibility of carrying this like half life he has to live. I love MJ in this movie as well. Everyone shits on Kirsten Dunst's MJ, but like she was good in this movie. I don't care what anyone says. I love her arc, and you know, Harry Osborn, Willem Dafoe, the fucking GOAT. Like, I really hope in some way that I'm related to Willem Dafoe because we look so much alike. Every single origin superhero movie should take inspiration from Spider-Man 1. It's a really good film. The reason I don't put it in S tier is because I just didn't grow up with it. I didn't watch it when I was a kid, and I don't have that same like nostalgia, I guess you could say, for this movie. But still, I'd put it in A tier. I'd say it's like a 10 out of 10, honestly. Moving on to Spider-Man 2, everyone's favorite Spider-Man movie. You ask most people, they're probably going to say this one, or most like Spider-Man fans would say this. I'm going to put it in S tier. It is a 10 out of 10. It's better than the first one, and it improves on where the first movie left off. It's a great sequel. This is probably like the best sequel movie I've ever seen. A lot of people say Shrek 2 is like one of the best sequels. I don't really understand that. This is it just continues off so perfectly. You can watch Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2 back to back, and it just continues on from where the characters left off. We got Harry pissed off at Peter because he's friends with Spider-Man supposedly. Peter or Spider-Man killed his dad, and you know, it's kind of bubbling up that resentment towards Peter and Spider-Man. And you know, we also got Mary Jane, Kirsten Dunst. Again, this is probably like the best example of people hating on Mary Jane. Honestly, if you watch this movie through her perspective, you can kind of understand why Peter seems like a dick. He seems like a flaky ass friend. Obviously, after Peter does reveal his secret identity to her, she does say like, "Oh, I think somehow I've always known." So that does kind of make it a bit, did she know? Was she just trying to be a dick to Peter to get him to reveal his secret? Did she really know, or was she just like confused? That's why her friend was being flaky. I don't know. But I do love the fact that Peter gets absolutely shit on in this movie. Tom Holland's Peter Parker has not suffered like Toby has. I get that Tom Holland's Spider-Man has legit lost everything. I love seeing Peter Parker get shit on. This is the whole like concept of being Spider-Man. Yes, you get all these powers and you have all this fun and you can do all these amazing things, but you also have the burden and the responsibility of carrying this alter ego and, you know, having the responsibility of Peter Parker. Peter Parker just gets shit on so much in this movie, and I kind of love it. And when you get older, you start to relate a lot more with Peter and his struggles, and he's like, should he quit being Spider-Man? And I love that he starts losing his powers. When you're younger, you don't realize, like, why is Spider-Man losing his powers? Is he infected or something? But it's just stress. He's getting a web block. He's getting stressed up. He is human like us, even though he can do all these fantastical things. He is still a human, and he still has performance issues. Doc Ock, the main villain, Alfred Molina, fucking incredible. I wouldn't say like he's better than Green Goblin, Willem Dafoe. He's still like an S tier villain though. I love Alfred Molina, I love Doc Ock, I love his arc and him losing Rosie and the power of the sun in the palm of my hand. So iconic. Also, J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. I forgot to mention him in the first movie. This is probably like his best appearance as a character. He's got that iconic laugh. There's so many memes in this movie as well. Pete's time. Yeah. I think S tier is like the best ranking for this. You can't put it any lower than that. Alright, we got a hot take coming up. This is my favorite movie ever made. My favorite Spider-Man movie. Spider-Man 3. Let me tell you, when I was 3 years old, I used to put this movie on every single day and put it on the TV. I'd watch it every morning. And to be fair, I only made it like halfway through, up to like the Sandman parts. I never really saw the black suit. This movie is my childhood. This movie kind of like formed the trajectory of my life. It's why I love movies so much. I've probably seen this movie over 1,000 times, probably more than that. It's awesome. You ask anyone on the street, what's your favorite Spider-Man movie? You ask like any non-Spider-Man fan, they're gonna say, oh, the one with Venom, oh, the one with the black suit. And this movie just has so many memes. It's like the most memeable Raimi movie. Honestly, it's not as good as Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is objectively a better film, but I love Spider-Man 3 so much more. We got emo Peter Parker, J.K. Simmons is back. MJ is cheating on Peter, which is like fucking insane. We got Sandman, Venom, New Goblin, which isn't Hobgoblin, I get it, but like they're doing their own thing. So many villains, so many plot lines getting thrown at the audience, and like so many bangers as well. Drive that funky soul, do the twist. The score of this film goes fucking insane. The final battle is the best final battle in any Spider-Man movie. The black suit has so much aura. I get people saying, oh, I wanted the classic black suit. Why didn't they go with that one? Bro, shut the fuck up. This movie's fucking goated. It's the best movie ever made in my opinion, and it's my favorite movie ever. Alright? Fuck you. Moving on to the Amazing Spider-Man duology. I'm pretty sure that's what you call it. We're starting off with the Amazing Spider-Man 1. This is the first Spider-Man movie I saw in theaters. I remember seeing the poster for this movie like when I was probably like 5 or 4 years old. And it was the poster of Andrew Garfield in like the shadows, and he's like holding onto a wall, and his shadow kind of makes like the shape of a spider. I remember seeing that poster. I'm like, what? Is this Spider-Man 4? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, I've been watching Spider-Man 3 for a whole year, and now it's just getting revealed that they're making a 4th one? What the fuck? I didn't even realize it was a reboot. And then the TV spot came in the morning when I was like getting ready for school. I saw the TV spot of Andrew Garfield, you know, posing on the building in that one scene where he's like balancing with his fingers and he falls off and shoots his web. Even after watching this movie, I still thought it was Spider-Man 4. That's how dumb I was. I was such a dumb little fucking 6-year-old. I thought this movie was Spider-Man 4 and they just fucking recasted Toby. Obviously it wasn't. This is a very good origin movie. This is pretty biased because it's like the first movie I saw in theaters. I did rewatch it again when it got re-released, and it is still so good. The suit has aura as well. Andrew Garfield is such a good Peter. You know, I'd say he's my favorite Spider-Man. He doesn't have the best movies. Tobey has the best movies. Andrew is the best Spider-Man. Sally Field as Aunt May. Probably my favorite Aunt May. I'm not gonna lie. I know Rosemary Harris is like the GOAT, but I don't know. There's something about Sally Field. I really liked it, Aunt May. Gwen Stacy, Emma Stone, and Andrew Garfield's chemistry. The best relationship in any movie ever made. This is probably showing how much of a fucking mainstream little fucking soy boy I am, but I'm sorry, I love their chemistry in this movie. This is the best Spider-Man, this is the best live-action Spider-Man relationship I've seen. Their chemistry is so cute, and, you know, watching this movie, knowing she's gonna die in the second one, just makes it hit so much harder. You know, this is the first Spider-Man in live-action we see web shooters, excluding the 70s one. The Lizard as the villain, something we've been wanting to see for ages. We went through 3 Tobey Maguire movies without seeing the Lizard. We kept on seeing Dr. Connors, and we kept on thinking, oh, if they do Spider-Man 4, is the Lizard gonna be in it? Is Carnage gonna be in it? We finally get the Lizard in live action, and Rhys Ifans as Dr. Connors, very good final battle. That scene with the cranes kind of gets shit on a lot. People saying, oh, that doesn't make any sense. Why would every crane in the city be there in that specific moment in time? But honestly, I think that moment really goes to show the you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us message done better. It's done better in this movie than it is in Spider-Man 1. In Spider-Man 1, the civilians of New York just start like throwing garbage at the Green Goblin, and they start saying, you mess with Spidey, you mess with us. But in this one, it says that without saying it. Words don't need to be spoken, they show it visually. And that swinging scene of him swinging to Oscorp Tower gives me goosebumps every single time. It makes me want to fucking cry. This movie is A tier. Most people would put it like C or B, but for me it's A. I'd say I like it more than Spider-Man 1. Moving on to the Amazing Spider-Man 2. This shit's going in A tier. I am going to put it below Spider-Man 1 though, because I do understand that this movie is kind of bad. But the CGI in this movie and the visuals is the best CGI, best visuals of any Spider-Man movie. It looks so real. The suit is the best live-action Spider-Man suit we've gotten. The score is arguably better than the Raimi movies. That fucking opening theme of him falling out of the sky in that swing sequence, we have 3 villains again like Spider-Man 3. The trailers for the movie went crazy. We saw Green Goblin, like, what? And then we saw the symbiote in the trailer. And we're like, what? We see Rhino, Electro, like all these villains. You could tell they were setting up their own cinematic universe. And honestly, if this movie succeeded and we got our own Spider-Man universe disconnected from the MCU, I wouldn't have mind. Honestly. Electro was kind of a shit villain. You know, they kind of fixed him in No Way Home. Dane DeHaan, Green Goblin, he looks pretty shit. Let's be real. Rhino, not a great villain. But I just love the story between Peter and Gwen. They have such a great love story. And her death is so devastating. I remember I watched the first 2 of the Amazing Spider movies in the theater with my sister, and she was so invested in, you know, these movies. She loved them. She loved Gwen and Peter. And then the reboot happened, and we swapped over to Tom Holland, and her disappointment was immeasurable. Speaking of Tom Holland, why don't we move on to Spider-Man Homecoming? When I saw this movie in theaters, I loved it. The marketing for this movie was arguably bigger than TASM 2. I remember the toys, those web wing toys, those masks that make the lenses move. Fucking so cool. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget what this movie did for me as a child. But you know, I was older when this movie came out. I was like 11, so I was a lot more critical when it comes to what a Spider movie can show me. And now, I think this movie has just aged worse and worse. Every time I rewatch this movie, I just like it less and less. I'm torn between putting it in B and C, honestly. It is not a good Spider-Man movie. I know that term, that saying gets overused so much. I'm putting it in C. I'm putting it in C. You can go on YouTube and watch hundreds, and I mean hundreds, of essays, not just on Homecoming, but as to why the MCU adaptation of Spider-Man just isn't that great. I love the opening, Spider-Man vlogging, that was very funny. You know, kind of a lot of Spider-Man fans who watch these movies are filmmakers, and you know, that was very relatable. But the responsibility of Peter Parker isn't really there. This Spider-Man is probably like the luckiest Spider-Man out of all these movies. He gets gifted this billion-dollar suit that has a heater, web wings, all these gadgets. And you know, Peter Parker doesn't even have to suffer for all those privileges. He never even gets suspended. Aunt May yells at him like once. He ditches his friends on a field trip. He loses Liz? Who gives a shit about Liz? That was his high school crush. Who cares? Right? Ned, his best friend in this trilogy, not once ever gets mad at Peter for doing what he does. Name one time Ned has genuinely been pissed off, and then compare it to the Raimi trilogy or Andrew Garfield trilogy where Harry gets pissed off at him. He just gets everything handed to him, and I get it's the whole origin story of like, oh, well, this is setting up Peter's origin. He's getting gifted all these things, so in 5 years' time, it gets all taken away, and that's technically his origin story. Don't act like this was the plan all along to have Tom Holland's origin story be 5 movies. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous statement, and, you know, no Uncle Ben references as well. We don't need an origin story. Spectacular Spider-Man didn't even have one until, like, Season 2 when he gets a black suit or whatever. All we needed was a couple mentions of Uncle Ben. You know, less CGI on the suit as well. That suit, pretty mid, looking back on it. It's not as good as I remember it looking. Get rid of the black straps. That shit's ass, bro. Or use, like, the unused Civil War suit that they used on set. That one looks so much better with the raised webbing. Michael Keaton as Vulture, though, S-tier villain. He kind of carries the movie on his back. I think having Vulture and Shocker in the first Spider-Man movie was a genius tactic. Like, Vulture is Spider-Man's like first villain, and Shocker is like such a straight level villain to have in a Spider-Man movie. So I really appreciate that. Yeah, final battle. The action in the movie was kind of shit. If you compare it to the previous ones we just went through, action's pretty shit. Music, I don't really like Tom Holland's theme. The dun 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 just does not top Mark Webb's or Raimi's movies. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Moving on to Into the Spider-Verse. That shit's going in S tier. But, there is a but, it's not at the top. I still think Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3 is better. This movie does feel a little overrated at times. I remember like when the trailers coming out and everything, I was like, what? Why are they making an animated Spider-Man movie? And there's like a weird old Peter Parker and they're trying to do Miles Morales. This is kind of weird. And then when I watched it on, you know, in December of 2018, I had a very good time. That was probably one of my best theater experiences I've ever had. That leap of faith scene, very beautiful. Yeah, Miles, this is probably like the most relatable version of Spider-Man, I feel like. When this movie came out, I was like 12, 13-ish, and I was going into a new school, and I could kind of like relate with, you know, Miles' anxiety of like having to put on this uniform and, you know, wondering if people are staring at you and shit, and like going through puberty and stuff. I think this is done very well. This is probably like the most I've ever really related to Miles as a character. Peter B. Parker as well. I think a lot of the adults who watch this movie can relate to him. He's kind of like washed up, and he's kind of like unk status now. And when I say that, I mean like he's uncool. He's not really he's kind of a loser. It's crazy how we also see Spider-Gwen. This is the first time we've seen Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man, and Miles as a trio together in this film. Haley Steinfeld did a very good job as Gwen. Again, animation. This movie has started like its own trend. It's created like the Spider-Verse animation trend where every movie tries to steal its like look, and everyone says, oh, it looks like Spider-Verse. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles looks like Spider-Verse. Miles' suit looks fucking beautiful. The J's, the jacket, the spray paint design. Peter Parker's suit in general, like without the sweatpants and stuff. Like I used to main that a lot in the Marvel Spider-Man 2018. Aunt May in this movie, kind of a badass. The villains, Kingpin, very sad. It's crazy how this is like the only Spider-Man movie with Kingpin in it. Like I kind of wish we could have seen that in Tom Holland's ones. Maybe we'll see it later down the line with Vincent D'Onofrio. female Doc Ock was insane. Like, what a callback to Shattered Dimensions 2099. I will say Tombstone in this movie is kind of done dirty. He's kind of just a grunt. He's not really a like an actual villain. Scorpion is kind of insane. Spider-Ham, Spider-Noir as well. Nicolas Cage, that's insane. If I had to have like one gripe, I didn't really like Penny Parker. Like, she's not even really Spider-Man. She didn't get bitten by a radioactive spider. She's kind of like just controlling a mech. I thought that was pretty lame. Moving on to the worst Spider movie ever made. Spider-Man Far From Home. This movie fucking stinks. That's going straight in F tier. This movie completely ruins this version of MC Peter. In Civil War, we were shown that Peter doesn't want to go with Tony to the airport and indulge in this civil war because he's got homework. He cares about his education. Then, in Homecoming, he doesn't care about his education. He's like, fuck school, I want to be Spider-Man. Fuck all that learning bullshit. Then, in this movie, he's like, actually, I like school. Fuck being Spider-Man. Bro, make up your fucking mind. Do you like being Spider-Man or not? I don't understand. The villain, Mysterio, I was excited to see him, but I don't like Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm sorry, everyone was glazing his performance in this movie. I do not like Jake Gyllenhaal. His whole plan is so stupid. He wants to become an Avenger by faking being an Avenger. So let's put it into perspective real quick. What if your plan does work? What if everyone does believe you're a hero and you do get recruited onto the Avengers? What are you gonna do when there's actually an Avengers level threat? You don't have powers, you have drones. And another thing, the drones in the final battle, they look so shit. Those CGI drones, terrible. Give them a better design. Make them look like the bats that Mysterio had from Spectacular Spider-Man. The CGI as well, just as bad, if not worse than Homecoming. It looks so bad. They covered that beautiful black and red suit in CGI, and it just tainted the suit. Now, whenever I see that suit, I'm like, oh, that's the CGI suit. I don't really even look at it as the beautiful thing that it is. If you just look at it as the concept art, it looks beautiful, but in the movie, it looks like trash. The stealth suit I did like though. The Night Monkey shit, that was kind of goated. Peter being obsessed with MJ at the start of the movie after like completely ignoring her. Like, what the fuck? What is this writing? This writing's bullshit. Again, it's taking place after Endgame, and they have to address the blip, and it's kind of like turned into a joke. And everyone's like, oh, well, people make fun of 9/11 nowadays. Kids do that, so they'd make fun of the blip. But yeah, like, kids wouldn't edit bullshit like that. Like, they're using Getty images. Like, I'm an editor, and like, I went to a school. I wouldn't be using Getty images. This is meant to be the smartest school in New York. And you're telling me they're gonna use Getty images? Like, what the fuck, man? I hate this movie. The jokes aren't funny. The elementals were cringe. I just don't like it, and I'm sorry. This is the worst Spider movie ever made. Moving on to No Way Home. This shit's going in B tier. Now, you were probably expecting me to put it in S, weren't you? When I saw this movie, 2021, I saw it with my brother, my older brother. Me and him used to always argue about Tobey Maguire and Andrew, who's the better one. And seeing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield share a scene together on the big screen, sitting next to my brother, it was one of the best experiences, one of the best audience I've ever had. Everyone was clapping, everyone was laughing. I had such a good time with this movie. Opening night, I wish I could go back. If I had a time machine, I would go back to December 17th, 2021 and watch this movie again. Because this movie is probably like the most unrewatchable Spider-Man movie. You rewatch this movie at home, it's kind of fucking awkward. There's a lot of these like awkward pauses of like when the audience is meant to cheer, and like the more you watch it, the more you see the cracks and the plot holes. Like, why did Sandman betray Tom Holland? Like, I thought Sandman was meant to be a good guy now. Why did they make a cure for Sandman if Sandman doesn't die on his world? When Toby and Tom talk to each other, why doesn't Toby just say, we don't need this thing right here. This cure for Sandman, it's irrelevant. We don't need that because Sandman doesn't die in my world. How did Sandman know that Willem Dafoe was Green Goblin? Right? That was meant to be a secret to the public. How did Doc Ock know about that? When he sees Green Goblin, he's like, Osborn? How does he know that? The fact that the lizard is scared he's gonna die when he gets back to his Earth, and he asks Max to his face, Max, do you know? Do I die? and Max just doesn't say anything for the like plot relevance. That's so weird, man. A lot of plot holes. Lizard is just put in a truck for like the movie because they just wanted to hide him for the budget, and like he looks terrible. CGI in this movie, it's the worst CGI in any Spider-Man movie. I'd say it's like worse than the Raimi ones because it just looks so muggy, and it looks like someone just farted on the CGI models. They look so brown and disgusting. The whole color grading, the whole look of this movie. I get it was made during quarantine and in like 2020, but this movie, the cinematography and the way it looks pretty fucking trash. The suits as well, ugly as fuck. That integrated suit, the gold, so tacky. The inside out suit, just give us the black suit. Why the fuck wasn't Venom in this movie? If Venom was in this movie, I'd probably rank it a bit higher, because if we got Venom, he would have probably gotten the white symbol, and then in Last Dance, he would have just had it the entire movie. That's like a bit of like, wishy-washy, what if they did that. If you look at like all the concept art of like what Green Goblin could have looked like, and you know, we could have seen like a fight scene between Lizard and Doctor Strange, and Doc Ock and Green Goblin fighting. There's so many missed opportunities in this movie, but the fact that it was even made in the first place, the fact that we get to see these three actors on screen together, that's something we've been dreaming about since Homecoming. Me and my friend used to like say, oh, what if Tobey Maguire has a cameo in Homecoming just as like a random pizza guy, as a joke. We never even thought that we'd see Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Tom Holland and Andrew back together. That being said, the CGI of them swinging together look like absolute trash. Yeah, pacing kinda bad. Rewatching it, we have a Daredevil cameo, which is kind of insane. No one really seems to remember that. I just think the hype leading up to this film is better than the film itself. Like, just knowing we're getting a new cast updates, and oh, Alfred Molina's gonna be in this movie. Jamie Foxx is confirmed to come back, and like all the leaks of No Way Home, that era of leaks will never be topped again. I remember I replayed every single Tobey Maguire Spider-Man game when this movie was coming out, and that was such a vibe, honestly. Oh, I forgot to mention Doctor Strange. Yeah, Doctor Strange is in this movie. That's pretty insane. We get Doctor Strange and Spider-Man together in a multiversal movie. That was pretty genius. Now moving on to the latest Spider-Man movie, which is kind of insane. It's been this long since we've had one. 2023's Across the Spider-Verse. I'm putting this movie above No Way. I'm putting it below No Way Home. Fuck that shit, man. This movie is only part one, and it already gets glazed so much. I'm putting it above Homecoming and Far From Home, honestly. I think it's a good movie. It is a good movie, alright? The reason I just have a bit of resentment towards it is because I didn't see it on the big screen, alright? I didn't have anyone to see it with, so I just watched it on the shitty cam rip. And the audio, when I first watched it, I couldn't understand what the fuck Hobie Brown was saying. This movie is probably the most overrated Spider-Man movie ever made. I just didn't like it as much, honestly. I'm not saying it's a bad movie or anything, I just didn't like it as much. Miles, I didn't relate to him at all. They kind of ruined Peter B. Parker's character. Like, why the fuck is he endangering his child? that was kind of weird. The Spot, the most overrated Spider-Man villain of all time. People like to say that he's scary. In what world is that motherfucker scary? I'm sorry, he's not. Oh, what, because he turns black? That's pretty racist. You're saying just because he turns black, he's all of a sudden scary. He's a clown. I'm sorry, he wasn't scary. Everyone's saying he's on the same level with Thanos, which is insane. I think the fan reaction to this movie is just what pisses me off the most. People glazing the fuck out of this movie. Jessica Drew. What the fuck did they do to her? They race swapped her, and then they made her pregnant, and she's fighting crime? Like, what the fuck? Are you trying to endanger your child? What is wrong with you? This is also the first appearance of Ben Reilly. And I just always forget, Ben Reilly is my favorite Spider-Man design, at least. I think he looks visually amazing, but they just turned him into a clown as well. The cameos in this movie were very well done. We got Insomniac Spider-Man, the Green Goblin from the Atari game, Spectacular Spider-Man, which, honestly, they kind of ruined Spectacular Spider-Man's character, because his whole motto is not staying back and letting someone die. He even said in like the symbiote arc of Spectacular Spider-Man, I am never looking the other way again. And now in this movie, he's just looking the other way and teaming up with Miguel. Spectacular Spider-Man would never do that. This movie's kind of forgettable, honestly. I only remember the third act. And even, like, towards the end of, like, Miles getting stuck in the wrong dimension, and he's in a parallel universe where he's actually the Prowler. Oh my god, big plot twist. I did not find that cool. Miles as the Prowler? That is so uninteresting, I'm sorry. I really hope Beyond the Spider-Verse can kind of pick up where it's left off. Like, you can kind of watch these movies, like, back to the back, and, I don't know, somehow fix it, but yeah, I didn't like this movie as much as the first one, so, hey. It was alright, like, overrated is fucking my opinion. Here's my tier list ranking of all the Spider-Man movies. Let me know in the comments if you agree or you disagree. You're probably gonna disagree. You're probably gonna say some bullshit like, never let bro cook again, but hey, this is my opinion, so fuck you. I love Spider-Man, I've loved Spider-Man ever since I was a toddler, alright? You can't say, bro doesn't even like Marvel. Bro doesn't even like Spider-Man. Yes, the fuck I do, you motherfucker. I'll beat the shit out of you, cunt. I'll fucking come